So, I'm 10 rides in. When I started getting back into mountain biking, I generally didn't know how long this was going to last for. Was this going to be one of those things where I get massively enthusiastic for a couple of weeks, buying loads of stuff, go riding a few times, but then quietly return to the sofa? Because, let's be fair, I've got previous. But here we are, 10 rides. Different places, different trails, some solo, some with mates, some brilliant, and some involving trees, mechanical problems and cow shit. And looking back over these 10 rides, I've realised something. The biggest changes haven't really been about how fast I'm riding or how far I'm going. They've all been about all the little things I've had to get over to actually enjoy mountain biking again. So here are 10 things I've learned, overcome, or just remembered after my first 10 rides back. Number 1. Not planning every bloody ride. One of the biggest changes has been not feeling like every ride needs to be organised 3 days in advance. Before, I'd almost have to make an appointment with myself. Where am I riding? What time am I leaving? What's the weather doing? Is everything charged up? Have I got everything ready? And by the time I finish planning it, I'd sometimes talk myself out from actually going. Now I'm getting to this stage where I can just think, I fancy a ride, I'm going to chuck the bike in the back of my van. It's no military operation, no feasibility study, no board meeting, just go and ride the bloody bike. And strangely enough, that's made riding feel normal again. It stops being this massive event that I've got to psych myself up for. It's just something I do now. Number 2, riding solo is really good for the soul. I've forgotten how much I really enjoy riding on my own. There's something really nice about disappearing for a couple of hours with nobody else to worry about. You ride at your own pace, stop when you want, push when you want, take whichever trail you fancy. There's no trying to keep up with anyone, nobody waiting for you, nobody asking where the hell you've gone. It's just you, the bike, and whatever trail happens to be in front of you. And I've found these rides really clear my head. You can have loads going on before you start, but after an hour or two riding through the woods, half of it doesn't seem quite as important anymore. So yeah, riding solo is definitely good for the soul. Number 3, riding with mates is bloody brilliant as well, which completely contradicts point number 2, but never mind, because riding with mates gives you something completely different. You've got the banter, the laughs, the encouragement, stopping halfway round and talking absolute bollocks, and usually someone doing something stupid enough that everyone else gets to take the piss for the next half hour. Solo riding gives me peace, riding with my mates gives me chaos, and apparently I quite like both. Some days I want to disappear into the woods on my own, other days I want a group of mates around me taking the piss. I don't think one is better than the other, they're just 2 completely different reasons to get out on the bike. Number 4, if I'm working away, I'll take the bike. This one has been a game changer. Working away used to mean finishing work, finding somewhere to eat, and then sitting in a hotel room watching whatever rubbish happened to be on the television. Now, if I know I'm working away somewhere, the bike comes with me. Because even if there's only one small chance of getting a ride in, at least I've got the option. And Sutton Park was probably the perfect example. I was working up in Birmingham, took my bike with me, and ended up riding somewhere I spent countless hours when I was a kid. 11 miles of riding and loads of memories came flooding back. If I hadn't have taken the bike, I probably would have spent that evening just sitting in my room watching some programme I wouldn't remember the following morning. Instead, I've got one of the favourite rides since coming back. So from now on, if there's even half a chance of me riding, the bike's coming with me. Number 5. I don't have to ride hard every time. This is something I'm slowly getting my head around. Every ride doesn't have to be an attack. I don't need to worry about average speeds. I don't need to chase times. I don't need to prove anything. Sometimes I can just ride, cruise along, enjoy the scenery, stop when I fancy it, and generally enjoy riding like that now. But every now and then something happens. A nice bit of single track appears, the trail starts pointing downhill, and apparently the old wheel has been hiding somewhere waiting for this moment. Suddenly I'm hooning it. I'm trying to carry speed through the corners, I'm pumping the bike through the trail, and I've got this ridiculous grin on my face. And that's probably the difference now. I don't feel like I have to ride hard, but when it happens naturally, it really feels good. Number 6. Getting over the fear of being unfit. This was probably one of the biggest things in my head before I started. I knew I wasn't as fit as I used to be, and there was definitely that worry of, can I actually still do this? The e-bike has helped massively with that, and yes, I know there's still going to be people who think e-bike somehow is cheating. Well, I can assure you, my heart is still thumping, I'm sweating buckets, my legs know they've been riding, and when I get back to the van, I definitely don't feel like I spent 2 hours sitting on a mobility scooter. The motor helps, of course it does, that's the point. It means I can tackle the climbs, ride further, and stay out longer without completely destroying myself. But I'm still putting the work in, and 10 rides in, I can already feel a difference. I'm recovering better. Things that felt hard on the first few rides don't feel quite as bad now. Let's not get carried away, but I can feel myself getting fitter, and that's given me a huge confidence boost. Number 7. Remembering that I can actually still ride. This one has probably surprised me the most. I've been away from regular mountain biking for so long that part of me wondered if I'd lost it. But 12 years in the saddle doesn't just disappear. The fitness goes, the confidence gets a bit dusty, but the actual skills are still buried in there somewhere. Picking lines, moving the bike underneath you, knowing where to look, when to brake, and more importantly, when not to brake. And I think learning most of this stuff on a hardtail has helped me massively. A full suspension bike is wonderfully forgiving. You may make a slightly questionable decision and the bike almost goes, don't worry Will, I've got this. A hardtail, not so much. A hardtail lets you know immediately that you've made a stupid decision. You've got to choose your lines, use your body, let the bike move more, and actually ride the thing properly. For me, that's proper bread and butter mountain biking. And 10 rides in, I've realised something that's made me pretty happy. I might be older, I might be heavier, and I'm definitely not as fit as I used to be, but I can still ride a mountain bike at a decent standard. Number 8, stopping worrying about what everyone else thinks. This one probably comes from getting older. I generally don't care anymore. Someone overtakes me on a climb, fine, off you pop. Someone riding a 10 grand bike, lovely. Someone thinks e-bikes are cheating, good for them. I'm not riding for anybody else. I'm not trying to impress strangers in a car park. I'm not trying to prove I'm the fastest bloke on the trail. I'm out because I enjoy mountain biking. If I want to stop halfway up the hill, I'll stop. If I wanted to take the easier line, I'll take it. And if I suddenly fancy absolutely sending it down something, well, apparently I'll do that as well. The only person I'm really competing with now is the bloke who used to sit on a sofa and couldn't be bothered going out. And at that moment, I'm beating him. Number 9. Discovering the ride doesn't have to be perfect. This one I've definitely learned the hard way. Not every ride is sunshine, perfect trails, and a beautifully functioning bike. So far I've had a pretty spectacular crash where I ended up face planting a tree, then sliding down an embankment, and somehow finishing up tangled up in my own bike. Not my finest moment, but it's one of them. I've had gears that weren't indexed properly, I've taken wrong turns and ended up wondering where the hell I am. And then on one memorable occasion, I rode straight through cow shit. Proper mountain biking glamour. But weirdly, none of these things ruin the rides, because that's part of mountain biking. Bikes go wrong, you take the wrong turns, you fall off, you get muddy, you get tired. You occasionally end up smelling suspiciously agricultural, but you still get back in a van with a smile on your face, and I think that's something I've forgotten. A good ride doesn't have to be a perfect ride, it just needs to be a ride you're glad you went on. Number 10. Getting my motivation back. And this is the big one. Probably the whole reason I started doing this in the first place. My biggest problem wasn't the bike, it wasn't the trails, it wasn't even really my fitness, it was purely down to lack of motivation. I've become incredibly good at thinking about mountain biking without actually doing any mountain biking. The bike was there, the trails were there, I knew I loved it. I just couldn't seem to get myself moving. And now, 10 rides in, something's changed. I'm not having to force it anymore, I'm looking for opportunities to ride. I'm taking the bike away with me with work. I'm happy disappearing off for a solo ride. I also look forward to riding with my mates. And sometimes I'll just have a spare couple of hours and think, sod it, I'm going out on my bike. And for me, that's probably the biggest achievement of these first 10 rides. Yes, I'm getting fitter. Yes, I'm riding better. Yes, I'm starting to feel more confident. But the most important thing is, I actually want to ride my mountain bike again. 10 rides ago, I felt like I was trying to make something of a big comeback. Now, I don't really feel like I'm making a comeback anymore. I just feel like I'm a mountain biker again. And that feels bumming good. So if you're watching this because your bike has been sitting in the garage for months, or maybe even years, don't worry about getting fit first. Don't worry about how fast you used to be. Don't worry about planning some massive ride. Just get the bike out. Go somewhere easy. Ride for an hour and see what happens. Because 10 rides ago, I wasn't sure whether I'd keep this thing going. Now I'm wondering where I'm riding next. And I think that probably answers the question. Was coming back to mountain biking worth it? Yes, absolutely. So if you enjoyed following the Little Trail revival so far, please give the video a like, subscribe if you fancy seeing where this goes, and let me know in the comments if you're trying to get back into riding as well. As for me, well, ride number 11 is waiting. See you on the trails.